Hi there everybody, I was in the whole universe, hope that is fine, I'm a man who brings value to one experience, and today we're gonna dive into the glossary of mathematical subjects and fields, and it will be the listening practices for you. Let's do this together, and by the way, it will be for C1-C2 level, but actually, as John von Neumann said, that if you don't understand mathematics, it's okay, it's fine, you will get used to it. It means that the more you read, the more you kind of dive into this field. The more you do, the better you are. Okay, let's dive into it, and we have the glossary of areas of mathematics. Let's practice it. I will read, you will listen, okay? You can kind of, right now, kind of put your phone on the table and you go to some places and listen to it a little bit. Maybe you can wash your plates or something like this. Okay, let's do this. Mathematics is a broad subject that is commonly divided in many areas that may be defined by their objects of study, by the used methods, or by both. For example, analytical number theory is a sub-area of number theory devoted to the use of methods of analysis for the study of natural numbers. This glossary is alphabetically sorted. This hides a large part of the relationships between areas. For the broadest areas of mathematics, see Mathematics, Areas of Mathematics, hyperlink. The mathematics subject classification is a hierarchical list of areas, list of areas and subjects of study that has been elaborated by the community of mathematicians. It is used by most publishers for classifying mathematical articles and books. By the way, guys, if you are listening to me right now, maybe I will not pronounce everything correct because I know a little bit about the subjects. Yes, I know kind of a lot in terms of the average man, but in terms of this glossary, I know some of them only. And how to pronounce them, I'm extremely excuse-moi for it, and I will read how I know, okay? And pronunciation maybe will be confused. Maybe you need to check correct pronunciation, but actually I will try my best, okay? Let's do this. Absolute differential calculus. An older man of Ricci calculus. Ricci is the person, Italian mathematician. Okay, absolute geometry, also called neutral geometry, a synthetic geometry similar to Euclidean geometry, but without the parallel postulate. Postulate, I don't know how to pronounce it correct. Abstract algebra. The part of algebra devoted to the study of algebraic structures in themselves, occasionally named modern algebra in course titles. Abstract analytic number theory, the study of arithmetic semigroups as a means to extend notions from classical analytic number theory. Abstract differential geometry, a form of differential geometry without the notion of smoothness from calculus. Instead, it is built using sheaf theory and sheaf cohomology. Okay. Abstract harmonic analysis, a modern branch of harmonic analysis that extends upon the generalized Fourier transform that can be defined to on locally compact groups. Abstract homotopy theory, a part of topology that deals with homotopic functions. For example, functions from one topological space to another which are homotopic. The function can be deformed into one another. Actuarial science. This is the discipline that applies mathematical and statistical methods to assess risk in insurance, finance, and other industries and professions. More generally, actuaries apply rigorous mathematics to modern matters of uncertainty. Additive combinatorics, the part of arithmetic combinatorics devoted to the operations of addition and subtraction. Oh, we know these things, okay. Additive number theory, a part of number theory that studies subsets of integers and their behavior under addition. Affine geometry, a branch of geometry that deals with properties that are independent from distances and angles, such as alignment and parallelism. Affine geometry of curves, the study of curve properties that are invariant under affine transformations. Affine differential geometry, a type of differential geometry dedicated to differential invariance under volume-preserving affine transformations. a he-force theory, a he-force, I think so, a he-force. A he-force theory, a part of complex analysis, being the geometric counterpart of Nevanlina theory. It was invented by Lars Ahiforce. Who is he? Who is he? It is Finnish, Ahiforce. Okay, he's Finnish, it means that it could be pronounced as... you can guess it. Okay, algebra. One of the major areas of mathematics. So, people who are right now studying the 6th grade and 7th grade, they know this subject. Okay, algebra. One of the major areas of mathematics. Roughly speaking, it is the art of manipulating and computing with operations acting on symbols called variables that represent indeterminate numbers or other mathematical objects such as vectors, matrices, or elements of algebraic structures. Algebraic analysis, motivated by systems of linear partial differential equations, it is a branch of algebraic geometry and algebraic topology that uses methods from sheaf theory and complex analysis to study the properties and generalizations of functions. It was started by Mikio Sato. It is, I think, Japanese, yes. Mikio, maybe. It is pronounced correct. Okay, you can check it. Algebraic Combinatorics, an area that employs methods of abstract algebra to problems of combinatorics. It also refers to the application of methods from combinatorics to problem in abstract algebra. Algebraic computation, an older name of computer algebra. Algebraic geometry, a branch that combines techniques from abstract algebra with the language and problems of geometry. Fundamentally, it studies algebraic verities. Algebraic graph theory, a branch of graph theory in which methods are taken from algebra that employed into problems about graphs. The methods are commonly taken from group theory and linear algebra. Algebraic K-theory, an important part of homological algebra, consort with defining and applying a certain sequence of functions from rings to abelian graphs. Algebraic number theory, the part of number theory devoted to the use of algebraic methods, mainly those of commutative algebra, for the study of number fields and their rings of integers. Algebraic statistics, the study of algebra to advanced statistics, although the term is sometimes restricted to label the use of algebraic geometry and commutative algebra in statistics. Algebraic topology, a branch that uses tools from abstract algebra for topology to study topological spaces. Algorithmic number theory, also known as computational number theory, it is the study of algorithms for performing number theoretic computations. Abelian geometry, an area of study based on the theory proposed by Alexander Grothendieck, French person. It means that maybe it is pronounced like croissant. Okay, Alexander Grothendieck in the 1980s that describes the way a geometric object of an algebraic verity such as an algebraic fundamental group can be mapped into another object without it being an abelian group. Analysis, a wide area of mathematics centered on the study of continuous functions and including such topics as differentiation, integration, limits, and series. Analytic combinatorics, part of enumerative combinatorics, where methods of complex analysis are applied to generating functions. Analytic geometry, also known as Cartesian geometry, the study of Euclidean geometry using Cartesian coordinates. Analog to differential geometry, where differentiable functions are replaced with analytic functions. It is a sub-area of both complex analysis and algebraic geometry. Analytic number theory, an area of number theory that applies methods from mathematical analysis to solve problems about integers. Analytic theory of L functions. Without descriptions, everybody. Applied mathematics, a combination of various parts of mathematics that concern a variety of mathematical methods that can be applied to practical and theoretical problems. Typically, the methods used are for science, engineering, finance, economics, and logistics. Approximation theory, part of analysis that studies how well functions can be approximated by simpler ones, such as polynomials or trigonometric polynomials. Trigonometry or okay, need to Google how to pronounce G here. Arithmetic Geometry, also known as Arithmetic theory. Arithmetic theory, an approach to Diophantine geometry used to study Diophantine equations in higher dimensions using techniques from algebraic geometry. It is named after Suren Arakelov, Soviet mathematician of Armenian descent, known for developing Arakelov theory. Arithmetic, also known as elementary arithmetic, also known as elementary arithmetic, the methods and rules for computing with addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of numbers. Also known as higher arithmetic, another name for number theory. Arithmetic algebraic geometry. Arithmetic geometry. Okay. Arithmetic combinatorics, the study of the estimates from combinatorics that are associated with arithmetic operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Arithmetic dynamics. Arithmetic dynamics is the study of the number theoretic properties of integer rational p-adic and or algebraic points under repeated applications of a polynomial or rational function. A fundamental goal is to describe arithmetic properties in terms of underlying geometric structures. Arithmetic geometry, the use of algebraic geometry and more especially scheme theory for solving problems of number theory. Arithmetic topology, a combination of algebraic number theory and topology studying analogies between prime ideals and knots. Arithmetic algebraic geometry, another name for arithmetic algebraic geometry. Asymptotic combinatorics, it uses the internal structure of the object set to derive formulas for their generating functions, and then complex analysis techniques to get asymptotics. Asymptotic theory, the study of asymptotic expansions. Ausländer-Reiten theory. Reiten. If it is German, then it is, I think so, Reiten should be. The study of the representations theory of Artinian rings, okay. Axiomatic geometry, also known as synthetic geometry, it is a branch of geometry that uses axioms and logical arguments to draw conclusions as opposed to analytic and algebraic methods. Axiomatic theory, the study of systems of axioms in a context relevant to the set theory and mathematical logic. Wow, we have read the bunch of them in terms of A letter. Let's start from B. Bifurcation theory, the study of changes in the qualitative or topological structure of a given family. It is a part of dynamical systems theory. Biostatistics, the development and application of statistical methods to a wide range of topics in biology. Biracial geometry, a part of algebraic geometry that deals with the geometry of an algebraic variety that is dependent only on its function field. Bolyai-Lobachevskian geometry, C, hyperbolic geometry. Okay, we will read right now. I think so that it will be better that I will not read the description of them. Actually I can, but I will not read the full list of them. So, let's do everything of them from C letter and without reading description, okay? I hope that you understand. C asterisk algebra theory, Cartesian geometry, calculus, calculus of infinitesimals, calculus of moving surfaces, calculus of variations, catastrophe theory, categorical logic, category theory, chaos theory, character theory, class field theory, classified differential geometry, classical algebraic topology, classical analysis, classical analytic number theory, classical differential calculus, classical Diophantine geometry, classical Euclidean geometry, classical geometry, classical invariant theory, classical mathematics, classical projective geometry, classical tensor calculus, Clifford algebra, Clifford analysis, Clifford theory, cobordism theory, coding theory, cohomology theory, combinatorial analysis, combinatorial commutative algebra, combinatorial design theory, combinatorial game theory, combinatorial geometry, combinatorial group theory, combinatorial mathematics, combinatorial number theory, combinatorial optimization, combinatorial set theory, combinatorial topology, combinatorics, commutative algebra, complex algebra geometry, complex algebra geometry, complex analysis, complex analytic dynamics, complex analytic geometry, complex differential geometry, complex dynamics, complex geometry, complexity theory, computable analysis, computable model theory, computability theory, computational algebraic geometry, computational complexity theory, computational geometry, computational group theory, computational mathematics, computational number theory, computational statistics, computational synthetic geometry, computational topology, computer algebra. Conformal geometry, constructive analysis, constructive function theory, constructive mathematics, constructive quantum field theory, constructive set theory, contact geometry, convex analysis, convex geometry, coordinate geometry, CR geometry, cryptography, decision analysis, decision theory, derived non-commutative algebraic geometry, descriptive set theory, differential algebraic geometry, differential calculus, differential Galois theory, differential geometry of curves, differential geometry of curves, differential geometry of surfaces, differential topology, Diffide theory, Diophantine geometry, discrepancy describes the deviation of a situation from the state one would like it to be in. Okay, discrepancy theory. I think so. It is, but I don't know actually. It is kind of description plus discrepancy theory. Okay. Discrete differential geometry, discrete exterior calculus, discrete geometry, discrete mathematics, discrete Morse theory, distance geometry, domain theory, Donaldson theory, dyadic algebra, dynamical systems theory, econometrics, effective descriptive set theory, elementary algebra, elementary arithmetic, elementary mathematics, elementary group theory, elimination theory, elliptic geometry, enumerative combinatorics, enumerative geometry, epidemiology, equivariant non-commutative algebraic geometry, ergodic Ramsey theory, Euclidean geometry, Euclidean differential geometry, Euler calculus, experimental mathematics, exterior algebra, exterior calculus, extraordinary cohomology theory, extremal combinatorics, extremal graph theory, Next, field theory, finite, finite geometry, because infinitesimal, yes, finite geometry, finite model theory, Finsler geometry, first order arithmetic, Fourier analysis, fractal geometry, fractional calculus, fractional dynamics, Fredholm theory, function theory, functional analysis, functional calculus, fuzzy mathematics, fuzzy measure theory, fuzzy set theory, Galois cohomology, Galois theory, Galois. Oh, excuse me for it. Who is he? Galois, it is French. Maybe it is Galois cohomology. Yes, maybe it should be, but because Galois, maybe Galois pronounced somehow this way. Galois cohomology, Galois theory. How to pronounce cohomology? Coho. It is kind of a study of the group cohomology of, okay, I think so that I pronounced it correct. Galois geometry, game theory, gauge theory, general topology, generalized trigonometry. Okay, it is pronounced this way. Generalized trigonometry, geometric algebra, geometric analysis, geometric calculus, geometric combinatorics, geometric function theory, geometric invariant theory, geometric graph theory, geometric group theory, geometric measure theory, geometric number theory, geometric topology, geometry of numbers, global analysis, global arithmetic dynamics, graph theory, group character theory, group representation theory, group theory, gyrotrigonometry, trigonometry. Okay, need to figure out how to pronounce it actually, but it is with a form of trigonometry used in gyro vector space for hyperbolic geometry, an analogy of the vector space in Euclidean geometry. Hard analysis, harmonic analysis, higher arithmetic, higher category theory, higher dimensional algebra, Hodge theory, Hodge-Arkelov theory, holomorphic functional calculus, homological algebra, homology theory, homotopic theory, hyperbolic geometry, hyperbolic trigonometry. Need to actually Google it, how to pronounce it correct, guys. Trigonometry, okay. And hyperbolic trigonometry, hypercomplex analysis, hyperfunction theory, ideal theory, idempotent analysis, incidence geometry, inconsistent mathematics, infinitary combinatorics, infinitesimal analysis, infinitesimal calculus, information geometry, integral calculus, integral geometry, intersection theory, intuitionistic type theory, invariant theory, inventory theory, inversive geometry, inversive plane geometry, inversive ring geometry, Ito calculus, Iwasawa theory, Iwasawa-Tate theory, job shop scheduling. Job shop, okay. K-theory, cake homology, Kechler geometry, KK theory, Klein geometry, knot theory, Kammer theory, L theory, large deviations theory, large sample theory, lattice theory, Lie algebra theory, Lie group theory. By the way, it is pronounced as Lie. I googled it before, and it is pronounced as Lie, not lie, actually. Don't lie. No lie. Okay, Lie theory, Lie sphere geometry, Lie theory, line geometry, linear algebra, linear functional analysis, linear programming, list of graphical methods, local algebra, local class field theory, low dimensional topology. Next, Maliavin, Malleavin calculus. Malleavin calculus. Mathematical biology, mathematical chemistry, mathematical economics, mathematical finance, mathematical logic, finance. What is the correct form of it? Actually, I can show it to you. It is the dictionary of finance. Finance, I think so. Finance and investment terms. Something like this pronounced. Finance, but actually in terms of Indian it will be finance. Okay, let's go. Mathematical logic, mathematical optimization, mathematical physics, mathematical psychology, not psychology, mathematical psychology, mathematical sciences, mathematical sociology, mathematical psychology, mathematical sciences, mathematical sociology, mathematical statistics, mathematical system theory, matrix algebra, matrix calculus, matrix theory, matroid theory, measure theory, metric geometry, micro-local analysis, model theory, modern algebra, modern algebraic geometry, modern invariant theory, model representation theory, model theory, molecular geometry, Morse theory, Mativic homology, multilinear algebra, multiplicative number theory, multivariable calculus, multiple scale analysis. Neutral geometry, Nevanlina theory, Nielsen theory, non-abelian class field theory, non-classical analysis, non-Euclidean geometry, non-standard analysis, non-standard calculus, non-Archimedean dynamics, non-commutative algebra, non-commutative algebraic geometry, non-commutative geometry, non-commutative harmonic analysis, non-commutative topology, nonlinear analysis, nonlinear functional analysis, number theory, numerical analysis, numerical linear algebra, operand theory. Operand, who is he? Operand, I think that it is for operands or something. Consists abstract operations, each one having a fixed... Okay, let's read it. A type of abstract algebra concerned with prototypical algebras. Operation research, operator K theory, operator theory, part of functional analysis study operators. Optimal control theory, a generalization of the calculus of variations. Optimal maintenance, or fault theory, order theory, a branch that investigates the intuitive notion of order using binary relations. Order geometry, a form of geometry omitting the notion of measurements, but featuring the concept of intermediacy. It is a fundamental geometry forming a common framework for affine geometry, Euclidean geometry, absolute geometry, and hyperbolic geometry. Oscillation theory, p-adic analysis, p-adic dynamics, p-adic Hodge theory, parabolic geometry, paraconsistent mathematics, partition theory, perturbation theory, Picard-Vessot theory, plane geometry, point-set topology, pointless topology, Poisson, I think so, it is Poisson, let's Google it, poison, not poison, Poisson, okay, Poisson bracket, where is it? Yes, Poisson, Simeon Denis Poisson, okay, Poisson, croissant, okay, Poisson geometry, polyhedral combinatorics, possibility theory, potential theory, pre-calculus, predicative mathematics, probability theory, probabilistic combinatorics, probabilistic graph theory, probabilistic number theory, projective geometry, projective differential geometry, proof theory, pseudo-Riemannian geometry, generalized Riemannian geometry to the study of pseudo-Riemannian manifolds. Pure mathematics, the part of mathematics that studies entirely abstract concepts. Quantum calculus, a form of calculus without the notion of limits. Quantum geometry, the generalization of concepts of geometry used to describe the physical phenomena of quantum physics. Quaternionic analysis. R. Ramsey. A Ramsey theory, the study of the conditions in which order must appear. It is named after Frank P. Ramsey. Rational geometry, real algebra, the study of the part of algebra relevant to real algebraic geometry. Real algebraic geometry, real analysis, real Clifford algebra, real K-theory, recreational mathematics, recursion theory, representation theory of groups, representation theory of the Galilean group, representation theory of the Lorentz group, representation theory of the Poincaré group, Poincaré group, croissant, representation theory of the symmetric group, Riemann theory, Ricci calculus, ring theory, Riemannian geometry, rough set theory, sampling theory, scheme theory, secondary calculus, semi-algebraic geometry, set theoretic topology, set theory, shift cohomology, sieve theory, single operator theory, singularity theory, smooth infinitesimal analysis, solid geometry, spatial geometry, spectral geometry, spectral graph theory, spectral theory of ordinary differential equations, spectrum continuation analysis, spherical geometry, spherical trigonometry, statistical mechanics, statistical modeling, statistical theory, statistics, steganography, stochastic calculus, stochastic calculus of variations, stochastic geometry, stochastic actually in Russian it is stochastic, but it's, I think that it is stochastic process. Stochastic process, stratified Morse theory, superlinear algebra, superlinear algebra, surgery theory, survey sampling, survey methodology, symbolic computation, symbolic dynamics, symplectic geometry, simplex, I think so, symplectic. The branch of differential geometry, symplectic. Okay, need to Google it. What is it, everybody? Symplectic vector space. It's here, and we have here a little bit of skew. Matrices, and matrix. I think that it is about simplex or something. Simplex, maybe. Bilinear form, field, vector space. Okay, maybe. Next, let's go. Symplectic topology, synthetic differential geometry, synthetic geometry, systolic geometry, systolic, okay, systolic hyperbolic geometry, tensor algebra, tensor analysis, tensor calculus, tensor theory, tessellation, theoretical physics, theory of computation, timescale calculus, topology, topological combinatorics, topological degree theory, topological graph theory, topological K-theory, topos theory, toric geometry, transcendental number theory, transformation geometry, trigonometry, the study of triangles, trigonometry, trigonometry, the study of triangles and the relationships between the length of their sides and the angles between them. It is essential to many parts of applied mathematics. Tropical analysis, idempotent analysis, tropical geometry, twisted K-theory, a variation on K-theory spanning abstract algebra, algebraic topology, and operator theory, type theory. Penumbra, yes, umbral calculus, I think it is about the different types of shades and shadows. Let's dive into it. In mathematics before the 1970s, the term umbral calculus referred to the surprisingly similarly between seemingly unrelated polynomial equations and certain shadowy techniques used to prove them. These techniques were introduced by John Blizzard. Blizzard Entertainment, John Blizzard, and are sometimes called Blizzards. Blizzard's symbolic method. They are often attributed to Edward Lucas or James Joseph Sylvester, who used the technique extensively. Okay. Uncertainty theory, universal algebra, universal hyperbolic trigonometry, V. Valuation theory, variational analysis, vector algebra. A part of linear algebra consort with the operations of vector, vector addition and scalar multiplication, although it may also refer to vector operations of vector calculus, including the dot and cross product. In this case, it can be contrasted with geometric algebra, which generalizes into higher dimensions. Vector analysis, also known as vector calculus. See vector calculus. Vector calculus, a branch of multivariable consort with differentiation and integration of vector fields. Primarily, it is consort with three-dimensional Euclidean space. W. Wavelets. That's all, everybody. We have read all the things, all the terms that are mentioned here. I think that there are 200 or maybe more. I want to say that on A letter a lot of them, also on C letter a lot of them, and on maybe G letter a bit of them. Actually, then it goes a little bit less and less, because algebraic, abstract, and other words that are used here, there are a lot of them. And C here is combinatorial, computational, and calculus. A lot of these things, they are mentioned here. So it was nice practice to do with you right now. It was good to read, and I hope that it helps you, because you are a Russian man, or maybe a Russian girl, or maybe somebody who is from Kazakhstan, or maybe other stan and place of land, of different lands. You are from them, and you want to learn your English, and actually you can read a lot of books with easy vocabulary. You can read and listen on YouTube a lot of things that are mentioned with easy vocabulary and with easy thesaurus, lexicon, and other things. But actually, by reading the hard stuff, it improves us. It makes our English better a little bit. At least you will be better at understanding something. I think so, because I'm the person who knows English in a pretty well way. I have read how many? I think so 150 plus books in English I have read in my life, and it is actually a good number. I know that some people have read more, and actually, if we will look at the YouTube videos, some people, they do videos about different types of easy stuff for A level, B level, and kind of this way. But actually, when we read stuff that is C1, C2 level, then it improves. But I understand that not everybody will watch it, but actually some people who are interested in these topics, they will watch it. I hope so. So thank you a lot. If you watched fully, let me know in the comment section below what was it for you, and how did you feel while listening to it. Did you read it by yourself, or are you interested in mathematics? And see you next time in Professor Daily. See you. You're a nice guy, a girl. See ya.